Alright, good evening everyone. I'm going to check out the stream really quick here. View full screen. Okay. Today we're going to do an Illinois Bunn Special 60 hour. This is a 21 jewel pocket watch. And it's railroad grade. And it does not have a case to it. So I'm going to be putting it into a display case as well. I picked it up off a friend who might honestly join the chat, but yeah, it's a pretty watch. Currently it is missing the minute and second hand, and we are actually just going to get whole new hands for it. As you can see, this hour hand is pretty worn. So we're just going to get all new hands for it. We're also going to repair up here at 12 o'clock. There's a chip out of it, and I'm going to use this wax type of porcelain repair. And then also, the pallet fork has incorrect depthing to the pallet stones, the impulse stones, so the watch doesn't run even with power on it. So we're going to adjust those stones, get new hands, give it a clean and overhaul, maybe a mainspring, and go from there. But probably just for this video, we're just going to do a breakdown. That's all probably we have time for. So let's get this in a movement holder. It's a little bit later than what I normally do for streams, but I was bored, so now I'm streaming. To remove the hour hand with this hand remover, I put plastic in between the dial and hand and the remover just so that we don't scratch anything. Okay, now on the side here we have 3 dial screws that we're going to unscrew and remove this dial. Let's see if this is properly, there we go, okay. One screw. Two screws. And 3. We're just going to squeak the screwdriver in between the dial and the movement, pull up, and lift off the dial. Put the dial in this case here, along with this hand. Okay, here we are on the dial side of the movement. We have the keyless works, hour wheel, minute wheel, intermediate wheel, clutch, and winding pinion, as well as our lever set and lever set springs, as well as our shipper spring and shipper. Remove this hour wheel, and on top of this hour wheel is a dial washer. It goes in between the hour wheel and the dial washer so that there isn't a bunch of binding in between the hour wheel and dial. Here we have our cannon pinion that we're going to remove with a cannon pinion remover. This one might be a little bit too small, but basically it's just a jaw that grabs the cannon pinion and lifts it up. And these two kind of feet position onto the dial, onto the movement, and so you can lift up with this jaw. We secure it over the cannon pinion and not to touch the fourth wheel or seconds pinion, basically. Position it over, press the lever down and up, and there goes the cannon pinion. Sometimes they get stuck and you can just grab it here. Next, we're going to go for this bridge that covers the minute wheel and intermediate wheel. We're going to remove those wheels. Okay, with the bridge off, we can get to this intermediate wheel. Oh, let's take off the minute wheel first, then the intermediate wheel. Is that ticking too loud? Let's see. Oh, let's take off the minute wheel first. It is pretty loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. All right. Next, we're going to go with the set lever. This lever here. It's too big. It's tight. That was probably way too tight. All right. Remove that screw. And set lever. As you can see, there's a little nub on the bottom of this set lever that goes into this spring so that when you basically put the watch from winding to setting, it snaps in either position. So we'll remove that screw as well and spring. Okay, now we're going to go for our shipper spring and shipper. I think this takes a little bit bigger screwdriver here. All right. And the shipper here. Okay, there's an internal stem that's holding the clutch and the winding pinion. We'll remove that from the movement side of the watch, the train side of the watch. But for right now, let's flip it over and start removing the train and barrel bridge and all that stuff, and then we'll get rid of the jewels here. Oh, one of the dial screws fell off. That's okay. We should probably remove those completely now. Let's remove those completely. A lot of the times they can they're kind of weirdly shaped screws. They can get stuck in their hole. So if they don't come out easily just by unscrewing them and you can't grab them, I'll use Rodico to pull them out. But these are easy to take out with tweezers. Okay, on this side of the movement there's a dust ring. Oh, the dust ring is held on by these two case screws. So let's remove those two case screws and then we'll remove that dust spring. Dust ring, rather. Let's make sure that's secure. One screw. And two. All right. One case screw and two. Now this ring should just pull up. If it doesn't pull up and it might be kind of stuck on there, you can use something flat and wiggle it under there. You could use a screwdriver, but be sure not to scratch the movement. Okay. I like to pull off the balance first. So let's pull off the balance first. It's the most precious part of the watch and you don't want to mess it up by slipping. Okay. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to unscrew the stud, the hairspring stud screw, and the regulator spring screws as well, and pull off the regulator spring and disconnect the balance from the balance cock. It's good to do it while it's on the movement, so you're not, kind of free holding it in the air and waving it around rather. So let's remove the spring first. Oh, there's only one screw to the spring. Okay, a lot of times there's two. Okay, well, a lot of times that won't happen, but by unscrewing the screw, the spring came out of place and just popped off. So there's that. Be sure not to break your springs or lose them. That's fine. Okay. I was trying to hold this in a position where you guys can see it, and I don't have a loop on, and so just right there you saw me try to unscrew this backwards essentially, and I slipped, and I touched the balance, but if I would have put any more pressure, I could have broken the balance staff. I don't think I scratched the pallet bridge. I did slip, but it doesn't seem like to the naked eye that I scratched it. So I'm going to turn this facing me with a loop and remove that screw so that I do not scratch this watch. Only a couple of turns for the stud screw, and it should loosen up the hairspring stud. I'm just going to poke a little bit on the stud. That way it can fall out when I go to remove the balance cock. All right. Let's grab a screwdriver and find this little notch so we can kind of lift up on the balance cock, wiggle it up a bit, pull it off to the side, and then we will pull up on the balance cock, and the balance should fall out of the balance cock here. Okay, it did not. So what I'm going to do, I'll grab the balance cock, and I'll just push the stud out of the stud holder here, like so, and the hairspring out of the regulator pins, like that. Now here's the balance cock, here is the balance. Okay, and I'll remove the regulator and jewels a bit later. All right. Now, I know there's pretty much no power on this already. I've already checked it. There is just a teensy bit of power, so what I'm going to do is I will swing the click open, and the ratchet wheel will wind down rapidly, but I'll have my finger on the wheel. So normally, if the watch is, or if the movement's installed in the case, or if you have a key, you would install the key or have the watch in the case, move the click, and then let down the ratchet wheel with the crown or with that key. I know there's almost no power on this movement. I could, why don't I grab the key and show you anyway. This is just a universal key for pocket watches. So what I'll do is I will install it into the stem. Okay, now I'll let down the power here. Oop. This is another thing that I will definitely let you. So, initially as well, since I knew there was no power on it, I just went ahead and started undoing this movement. You want to keep the setting mechanism all intact, so when you do go to let down the power, you can hold you can basically let it down with the key. With the setting mechanism gone, this has nothing to bind on, so this will just let loose. I know there is like literally one click of power on, which is absolutely nothing. But also note I use brass tweezers so that if I were to slip, I wouldn't really be scratching it. So brass can still scratch this, but nowhere near what steel can do. So the proper way is with the setting mechanism in, that's literally the first thing you do is let down the power, then undo the balance. But since I already knew there was no power on it, I went ahead and did it secondary basically. So let's remove this ratchet wheel and crown wheel. Let's do the crown wheel first. Now, a lot of the times crown wheels are left-handed threads, so you essentially have to go in the right direction, which would normally be tightening it to loosen it. Yep. It's like I'm screwing the screw in, and that's what loosens it. Okay. Just grab this wheel here. This is the crown wheel. This immediately touches the, the winding pinion. Okay, and let's go for this click here. The click is quite tight. Okay. Okay, and the spring is on the bottom of the click, isn't it? It's not. Oh, the spring is underneath the barrel bridge. Okay, so the spring that connects with the click is on the bottom side of this barrel bridge. Now let's remove the ratchet wheel here. Probably what I should have done as well, actually, is to remove these screws while the click is in so that this wheel doesn't move around. Okay. With those screws out, we can remove this little cap. Okay, and this is a motor barrel movement. Ratchet wheel off. Let's remove the barrel bridge and the train bridge. Let me make sure we're on focus here. Okay. Usually barrel bridge has 3 screws to it. And we'll go for the train bridge as well while we're at it. All right. I believe this is the model 14 Bunn special. Okay. So wiggle this barrel bridge up. Like so. Oh, and here's that click spring. It's on that bottom part of the barrel bridge. And let's remove the train bridge here. Train bridge does not have a little sweet spot. So I will grab a piece of either wood or plastic here. Be sure not to touch the wheels, but go in this little slot right here and pull up. Be sure not to touch any of the wheels, the third wheel or the fourth wheel or the escape wheel. You will break them. Here is the center wheel. Now we'll take the barrel. Here is the fourth wheel, the third wheel, the escape wheel. Oh, and don't forget about this actually. So on the crown wheel on the barrel bridge, there is this little ring. This helps allow the crown wheel not to bind to the plate when the screw is screwed down. You want to remove that so that when you go to put in your parts cleaner or whatnot, it doesn't just float away. And you lose it, and then you can't wind the watch because the wheel's bound to the plate, to the bridge rather. Here's the inner stem with the clutch and the winding pinion on it. Let's remove the pallet bridge and pallet fork. And now this watch takes a 1561 or 1560 pallet fork, and I believe it's the correct fork, but I think the stone is in too deep. I think I need to heat the pallet fork up and back the stone off a little bit so that it can action properly. So let's get this pallet fork bridge off here. Let's get the pallet fork out of there. Okay. Here is a bare bones train side to a plate. Let's remove the balance jewels, and I believe the escape wheel has a cap jewel to it. So let's remove those. Okay, I always do a good job of mixing up these jewels. So, is the pallet fork capped as well? Let's see. The pallet fork is also capped. Oh, the pallet fork is also capped. Okay, so we're going to take off the balance, pallet fork, and escape wheel jewels. Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this actually. Let's see. Is it Control S? Let's see here. Well, I'll take a picture. I can just go to a water view actually, because I always do a really good job of messing up these three jewels, whether it be the balance, the pallet, and the escape. I always get them in the wrong positions, and then the thing just doesn't run. So I have to spend an hour trying to decipher which jewels are which. So I'll just go back and look. But we're definitely going to place them in separate containers. This is definitely the pallet fork jewel. No, this is the balance jewel. This is pallet fork. That's escape wheel. Okay. Here are the screws. Let's press this out. Yeah, that is definitely the balance. Okay. I'm going to use a little jewel key here. it's just a little pusher that has these little brass nubs on it. So you can basically put this little circle on where the bushing is to the jewel and press it out, not touching the jewel. There we go. Alright, let's go for the pallet fork jewel. Sometimes they're a little sticky. Let's try to undo this one again. Okay. Now let's drive out that jewel now. Wow. Okay, that took a lot of force, and I think this jewel just fell on me. I think it did. So and the good thing about it is it's not steel, so the magnet won't pick it up. Hopefully it's large enough that I can see it. That took a lot of force to drive that out. Let's see. Okay. I'll look just a little bit more, and then if I can't find it, I will search later. Let's see. This is another part I was probably looking for. That is an automatic rotor spring that holds the rotor to the automatic bridge. Okay, the jewel's not on my chair. Okay. Okay, I will look for it later. That's fine. Okay, let's remove the escape wheel jewel now. A lot of the times if you can't pull up on these screws, you can get them from the back side and push them through. Don't push them too hard because they will fall on the ground. Okay, there's the screw. Now, what would be a good way to avoid what just happened? Push not as hard. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there I just controlled my pushing rather than just slamming it down. See if we can't just push that through here. There we go. Okay. We've got the balance, pallet, and escape wheel jewels out of the plate. Now I'm going to put the balance cock on one more time and then remove those jewels and regulator. It's funny, I wonder when I lost that automatic spring. Obviously a long time ago, because I do not remember it. Okay. Also, I'm going to remove the jewels from the pallet bridge and from the escape wheel bridge as well, from the train bridge. I guess a good way not to lose the jewels is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to grab a bench block and remove the jewel from this top part of the bridge here. All right, let me grab a bench block. Okay, this is just a bench block. That's just a solid piece of steel with holes in it. I'll place this like this, and I'll push on the jewels and they should just pop out and fall in the hole. Like that. Okay. Oh, one thing to note, what I should have done actually while it was on the bridge. Well, let's do it. Let's put it back on and show you. Okay. Okay, so I don't like to remove this screw for the stud. The only way really you can put it back on is with a pin vise. I just keep it in. Unless the thing is rusty and dusty or whatnot, then I'll remove it and fix it. But as for right now, I keep them on if they're in good shape. So I'm going to screw that back down so that when I put it in the ultrasonic, it does not unscrew out of there and go into the cup, the bath. Okay, and when removing these regulators, they're kind of spring loaded on there, and so you can just kind of get your screwdriver under it near where that cut is and kind of wiggle it up. Or you can put your screwdriver in the cut and turn it. Let's see if you can see that here. So if I put my screwdriver in this little slot here and twist it, it will pull up on the regulator, pulling it off of the balance here, or the balance cock. Let's get a little bit larger screwdriver. Like so. Okay. So we are pretty much ready to put this in an alcohol bath, rub it down, wash it, and then pegwood the holes. And we have to remove the mainspring from the mainspring barrel as well, but that's the watch broken down. Okay, let's remove that mainspring here. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the pallet jewel and escape jewel. Let's do the pallet jewel first. Now, a lot of the time you can just remove this jewel while the pallet fork is still in there, and it's a lot quicker. Sometimes, for some reason, I like to do it while it's not in there. I don't know why, I just don't want to break the, sometimes I'll do it, but I just don't want to break the pallet fork. Let's remove this jewel, this cap jewel here. Okay. I can tell I'm not going to be able to grab that with a tweezer, so I'll just pull it up with Rodico. Yeah, there's no way I was going to pull that up with a tweezer. Okay. Okay, let's do the train bridge. Okay. A lot of tiny jewel screws. And again, I'll bring this to the bench block and just pop out this jewel. Bring it to a flatter surface so I don't bend the bridge here. Like that. Okay. I should really find that jewel. Let's take out this mainspring out of the mainspring barrel. Okay, and so how I remove mainsprings out of the barrel, which is very, very simple, I will put the mainspring barrel down and I will press on its sides till the cap pops. But, let's see. Okay, that is on there much tighter. So now I will just, let's see if I can do it with the bench block actually. No? Okay. Okay, I believe I have actually a mainspring barrel remover plate. Let's see. going to work, is it? Okay, I think I'll just slip a screwdriver inside the cap and pull up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because this is a motor barrel. Yeah. Okay. Like that. Okay. Okay, I'll remove that when I remove the spring. Now you want to remove the spring pretty much one coil at a time, so you don't warp the spring and you just, oh good, that popped out. And so it doesn't just explode. And this is a 60 hour, so it's a very, very long mainspring. Okay. Okay. 5 days worth of power. Okay. Look how long this mainspring is. Let me back this up. This is a huge mainspring. Okay. So, basically, what a motor barrel is, and I'm going to probably botch this definition, but basically, you want the barrel of the mainspring to be either bushinged or jeweled, so that when the mainspring moves, it's moving on the jewel. So with this, it's not a jewel, it's a bushing, which is this little cap here. But basically, the mainspring barrel is one with the arbor right here. This is your top arbor and your bottom arbor. And this would be spinning on, if it's a jeweled motor barrel, be spinning on one jewel, this would be spinning on another jewel. On just normal pocket watches, you do have one arbor, one pivot, and a jewel, but then the other one is actually not. It's just either running on the inside of this barrel bridge, and it has the ratchet wheel directly adhered right onto it. And so with the motor barrel style, you have less friction. And so you get more power, which runs the watch better. But I'm pretty sure it's just Illinois and Hamilton that make really good motor barrels, and then the rest are just going barrels like Waltham and whatnot. But yeah, basically less friction with having a jeweled barrel or a bushing barrel, where the barrel and the arbor are one unit. They're not separate. And your arbor is essentially made up of these two things. That which hooks onto the mainspring, and then this which the ratchet wheel screws into. So the ratchet wheel is directly on the arbor. So, okay. Yeah, let's get the alcohol out. Okay. And this is 99.9% alcohol, which I guess reading in the comments is more rare than I thought it was. I find it very easy to find. Oh yeah, that little disc is still on there. I have to pull that off. Okay. I'll put every single part of the watch in here except for the balance and the pallet fork because they have shellac on them. Balance has shellac on the roller jewel and the pallet fork has shellac on its impulse jewels. And alcohol eats shellac. I also don't usually remove the regulating screw with the regulator spring. I don't know, usually they don't get that dirty. If it's rusty, of course, but I will let this soak in alcohol before I go to wash it. Okay. Now we removed balance, pallet escape, pallet balance. Yeah, that's what we did. I'll put this balance jewel together. Oh, and I got some new oils, which I'll share with you in the next video. I got epilame for the escape and pallet and cap jewels and all that. And I got 9504, which is a thick grease for like the keyless works and for chronograph stuff. I got HP 1300, which is also 9401, which is for like center wheel, third wheel, barrel arbor, and automatic rotors. What else did I get? I got some 8200, some Mainspring 8200 grease. That's actually still coming in the mail. I got some one dip for the hairspring and pallet fork and balance. Got some good stuff that I can use because I've been using, basically since my whole career doing this, I've just been using the oils that my grandfather used, like D5, which is similar to HP 1300. I've been using Mobius 8000, which is like a clock grease, and I've been using that for mainsprings. It just seems like the older school generation of watchmakers had 3 viscosities they would use, basically. Quite runny, a light oil, a medium oil, and a heavy oil, basically. And heavy oil would be anything from mainsprings and keyless works and chronograph stuff. Medium oil would be for like center wheel, rotor, third wheel jewel, and stuff. And then a light would be for the high motion wheels, like the fourth and balance and stuff like that. And so that's just what I've gone off of. But I'm starting to branch out, and I want to get these newer oils that everybody else is using. So, and also Epilame is freaking awesome. I used it on, oh my gosh, I can show you the comparison between this movement and the one I just worked on. I'll show you it. It's very tiny. Where is it? Here it is. This is a it's FF, so it's either Felsa or Font. I forgot which one. It's a little ladies' watch, but so the entire movement is that guy right there, and it's pretty much smaller than my pinky. So I used Epilame on the escape wheel, the cap jewels, and the pallet fork, and oh my gosh, oiling watches has become even easier. The oil sits where you place it, and it's freaking awesome. So that's been fun to use. Yeah, this is a very, very tiny movement. Keeps extremely good time, but very, very tiny. It goes in this nice bracelet. So well, oh, I also bought a pallet fork for this watch. So basically it was $15.61, or it was this $15.38, and I'm actually going to return this one because it's actually, I believe it's a used pallet fork, number one. It's very dirty, and it doesn't fit the watch, so I'll probably return it. It was like $50 or $55 for this pallet fork, and so I don't need it. I could throw it in my stock, but I think the older models took this $15.38, and this is a newer model, so it takes a $15.61. So I was hoping that it just had the wrong pallet fork, but I really think I'm going to have to adjust those impulse jewels. So yeah. Let's see, how long have we been going for? I can't tell. Oh, about an hour, 53 minutes. I'll probably clean this, and then once I go to install this in the ultrasonic machine, I'll probably cut the stream. But let's clean this up and then do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's clean this. Okay. Such a big mainspring. I need to get better cleaning baskets than these guys. These guys are chrome plated and they just flake off. Oops. Tell I'm tired. All right. So let's get the train jewel, or I'm sorry, the train wheels in one first. Well, first of all, let's put this mainspring. No, let's do that first. We'll do the train wheels first. All right, and I use a makeup brush because they are extremely soft. Okay. Let's get this crown wheel. Bigger parts in bigger baskets, smaller parts in smaller baskets, if you could imagine. You can see the wear on this, holy crap. Look at the wear on this ratchet wheel. It's got a nice circle around it. Like parts go with like screws. I'm done with throwing all the screws in one basket and having a fun time. With a pocket watch it's easy, it's still way quicker just to throw the part with the screw in a basket. Especially for chronographs. Chronographs get ridiculous how many screws they got. Okay, and I am actually going to put the pallet fork here with the train wheels. That's what I like to do. And what I'll do, actually, you'll probably see this in the next video after this has been ultrasonically cleaned. I'm going to soak the pallet fork and the jewels and everything that's basically going to get epilaimed, except for the balance wheel, of course, but I'm going to soak in one dip and then remove that and let any final grease and grime get removed. And I always do an alcohol bath before. Number one, it saves money on ammoniated cleaning solution. But number two, and most importantly, there's so much grease that can build up because we don't know when the last time these were serviced, that inside the jewels with the smaller holes that it's hard to get pegwood in, you can get that grime out of there with this brush. And also, all the time, that ammoniated solution does not break down a lot of this thick buildup. So I like to use 99% alcohol before that. Always. I used to do it sometimes. It's always. There's no point in not doing it because I found the watches just keep better time right out the gate. Let's look. Okay, these are the dial screws. I'll probably just throw them in with the train just because they're small. Okay. Now let's go for this mainspring barrel cap. It's worn, but let's actually do this as well. Not used to working on motor barrels, so usually you peg with the barrel and of course the barrel bridge and all that stuff, but this had this little bushing, so we're going to peg with that as well. Oops. All right. It's not dirty, but it's good to always peg with that. Okay. Let's get the mainspring barrel in there. Hi, AJ. Yeah, I live in Seattle. Well, I live in Everett, but the Pacific time zone. I don't even know what time it is. It's probably what, 8 or something, 8 or 9. Okay, this is the shipper with the shipper screw. Oops. And the shipper spring with the shipper spring screw. And this is the set lever spring with the set lever spring screw. This is the set lever. This has some oxidation on it. I need to get if you guys know the guy on Instagram, he makes the swing polisher, and I need one so I can do these flat surfaces like screw heads, regulator springs, regulators, and also some lever set. If you can not miss that little piece there, you can really put a nice polish on top of it. Oh, it's 10:51 where you're at. Well, hope you have a good night. I got really bored, and so I started working on watches, and I thought, why not record it? Okay, click and click screw. And I also like to put pretty much all of the keyless works together, except for the screws, of course, but like intermediate wheel, minute wheel, hour wheel, winding wheel, clutch, all that stuff. Put that stuff together in one. Okay. If I could grab it, it'd be nice. There we go. See, this bridge I'll put in a separate one because it has its own little screw. Okay. And I'll actually put this with the click because these screws are so different in size. If I mess them up, I'm an idiot. There's that. Okay. Now we'll go for the jewels. Okay, this was lower balance, lower pallet, lower escape. Upper escape, upper balance, pallet. Yeah, I'm gonna forget that. I'll have to go back and look in the video. Upper balance. You can't mistake that. Oh, and so what I'll also do, I actually should probably do this now before I clean it here. I will go with the cap jewels and peg with the cap jewels. A lot of times I do this after the fact, but I'll do it now. So I'll just rub these cap jewels here. Any grime that's built up there needs to be rubbed away. Any old seized oil, all that. Okay. This should have no oil on it, but if there's any grime there. Okay. And I should do that with the whole jewel as well. It's just not going to be very easy to get in there. Okay. The most annoying steps in watch repair are usually the most important, but super important to get this clean. I'm going to be opening a store pretty soon, and I'm super excited about it. Okay, I lost the freaking whole jewel to this, so I'll leave that out for right now. Can't believe I lost the whole jewel. I'm going to have to find that. Of course, I'm going to do that off stream. That would be funny if I did it on stream, but... I bought an extra epilane bottle. I don't even need it because I bought the smaller, like 10 milliliter epilane, which comes with that mesh little gar that you put your parts in. I might use it for the time being as a 1-dip bottle. That might be what I'll use. Okay. Let's get these train bridge screws and barrel bridge screws in their respective containers. Let's just put these with the shipper. And here's the regulating spring. A lot of times these are rusty. A lot of times. I'll put this with... I will put this with the set lever spring. Here's the regulator. I still need to remove that little wheel, or that little spacer. Let's do that right now. I'm going to peg with this center hole here. I have gloves on, screw it. Okay, let's get this center wheel hole. And let's go also for this main plate. And we'll go for the mainspring barrel lower bushing. Okay. This is just a glass petri dish, by the way, that I'm using. All right. Let's see here. This is so perfectly on there, it's hard to pull up. That circle is perfectly the same size. There it is. Alright, so we got that off there. The spacer between the ratchet wheel and the barrel bridge. Okay. Now then, let's put everything in there. Except for that jewel, because we need to find its partner. Okay. Let me just actually get this mainspring a little bit clean here. The alcohol. Okay. Let's install this mainspring into the parts container, parts cleaner basket. Alrighty. This might not go over as easy as planned. This mainspring's huge in here and won't allow me to lay down these baskets. Let's see. Oh, I have to. Okay, here. I forgot about the balance wheel. I'll just put the balance wheel with a jewel here. You go in there. Okay. Balance wheel. Now's in a parts basket. Okay. We gotta leave one of these open for that mate to that jewel that I lost. I'll just leave this one open. That. I usually just lay the plates on top here. Plates and bridges on top. Okay. Okay, so I am going to now find the mate to this jewel that I lost. It's the whole jewel. This is the cap. So I'll find the whole jewel to it. I'll put that in this parts container, place it in the parts cleaning basket, ultrasonically clean it, and tomorrow we will most likely tomorrow we'll have the reassembly of this Illinois and probably the dial repair as well as the fork impulse jewel adjustment. It might have to be the next day for the fork impulse jewel adjustment or the dial, because it might take a while to assemble this and see really what's going on. It should be in good condition. It seems like it is. But hopefully we can get it all tomorrow. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I will definitely be live a little bit earlier tomorrow. I just got bored tonight and started working on this watch, and I thought, why not stream it? So yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you either tomorrow or the following day. Thanks. Okay.